Links for Odysee, BitChute, Gab, and Discord, though the Discord's sort of a free speech zone, so you get what you get, and they're legitimately crazy people there. Okay, 2 points. One, it's interesting, strange bedfellows. You've got the right of center crowd who doesn't trust the government for good reason, and then you have the BLM crowd who doesn't trust the government, again, for good reason. And then you have the left wing, like the authoritarian left, who I'm not sure if they, like, you put a gun to their head and say, do you really trust the government? They'd be like, no, but they're on board a certain narrative, and the narrative is F Trump. It's like, Trump's out of office. He's never coming back. In fact, the right, the real right, not the MAGA normie fig right, doesn't want Trump. He's way too far to the left for the real right. And like, people knew that 5 years ago. Anyway, they don't trust the government. Good reason. Strange bedfellows. The interesting thing is, on Twitter, the left wing, when they saw this thing, they immediately turned on BLM. BLM was their purse puppies. They were on their plantation, and the puppet masters were just laughing and laughing. And on Twitter, all these left wing people, all of a sudden, it's like BLM is just a bunch of dumb savages. Like, they're saying things about BLM now that is only okay to say if you're a left-wing authoritarian liberal. And if you said it about BLM before this incident, they would have called you Istophobic. Anyway, so when I actually saw this Texas melee kerfluffle fray go down, I didn't realize what the implications were of it. So now you've got, I thought it was a bunch of white people who were, because I assumed when you say they attacked the hostess, show me your papers to get this strudel. They have ways of making you laugh. I assumed it was a bunch of like white Texas MAGA folks who got in a dust up with the hostess, and it turns out no, it was black folks who don't trust for good reason. So that's why it's putting the left wing in a very confusing position. They don't quite know where to go with it, but they immediately turn on the black folks. It's like, now you're just you're just in the same camp as the alt-right, far-right guys. Like, I seriously say that leader of the KKK in 10 years is going to be a black dude. So a large group of BLM activists protest, and is this channel going to get kicked off of YouTube? Probably. Protest the mandate cancel Carmines after brawl at popular restaurant over paperwork. So the rushed experiment has caused a massive divide within the United States, primarily along political lines, but not totally. Recent revelations are proving that it goes even deeper than right or left. Yeah, try liberty. Two great key groups that the Dems need, black 43% and Hispanic 48%, are the least likely to be subject to experiment, and that's not likely to change anytime soon. Strange bedfellows. Hashtag pureblood. It's the dwarf and the elf fighting together from Lord of the Rings. Now that someone as influential as Nicki Minaj, hashtag our girl, our friend, has spoken out in the draconian experiment in cities like NYC have disproportionately affected the POCs, more people are choosing to think for themselves. And that's a huge problem for the leftist establishment. That's what they don't like. They don't want free thought, and they definitely can't have free speech. Like, there are libertarians on YouTube, liberal libertarians. They might even be right of center on some issues, but they're free speech. Like, that's the bottom line for them, and they're kind of playing with the left. And I'm looking at some of them in the CG community, and like, if you're pro free speech, you're never going to be on the left. That's a hard line in the sand for them. They're pro free expression, but then you're not pro free expression. And there are people who are libertarians who are pro free expression, period. You're never going to be on the left. You just got to give up chasing that dragon. It's never going to happen. So now Gateway Pundit, I'm not sure where they're coming from, because they seem to be against, like, knee-jerk reaction to say BLM is all bad. To call them radical BLM thugs, I began clapping back. So I'm not sure why you're using that terminology. It seems unnecessarily provocative, but whatever. One point is, like, even these people, like Gateway Pundit is normie right. They're not They're MAGA right. MAGA right is normie right. It's not the real right. It's just like, it's just rhino right, neocon, not exactly neocon, but rhino right. It's like they're not conserving anything. What have you conserved in the past 50 years? Nothing. Your kids are wearing dresses. So last week, a brawl broke out, Italian restaurant, 3 black women. See, I didn't know they were black. I assumed they were just white Texas chicks. Were asked to provide proof of vaccination. Oh, shit, shouldn't have said that word. To be elite. Video went viral. It was the first assault on record. Well, I'm not going to encourage violence because I'll get in trouble on YouTube. I'm surprised that it, I mean, it's like, that's the city law, right? Or the, I don't know actually technically if it's a law or if it's just a request by the city, but it's a private restaurant. They can do what they want. Probably because it's not discriminating on any protected category. Probably, though you might have a religious argument if you said it's your religion not to take this experimental substance because it uses human body parts from children. So maybe you have a religious argument. But the thing is, you do your fighting in court. You don't do your fighting on the street. So this confused everyone. It's sparked a massive backlash and led to a large group of BLM activists gathering at the restaurant on Monday. Furious crowd blocked the street in front of the building and a usable horn. Cancel Carmines. So I understand where they're coming from, but it's like, what are you going to do? According to the protesters, the passport is just an excuse that allows Italian supremacists to be Islamophobic. It's not. I mean, I'm obviously on one side of this, but it's like this is kind of a mess. It's like I don't think they have a choice. I don't know. Would their business license get pulled if they said, yeah, we're not going to follow that mandate and anyone can come in? I don't know how that would. I don't know. New York is its own litigious environment where you live in a city like New York. You give up a lot of personal liberties because you're living in diversity. And when you live among diversity, you're going to have a police state. There's no way around that. In fact, that's why, I don't know how far I can go into YouTube, but that's why they bring in multiculturalism, because they also can bring in the violation of the Fourth Amendment with stop and search, and they can wand you down everywhere, and you give up liberty piece by piece by piece because you got a bunch of different people together. There's going to be a lot of malum in say acts that different people cause. That's what rats in a cage. That's what kind of happens there. I'm trying to be so careful on YouTube. It's like, it's just like, I'm sure they're just going to nuke this channel. Anyway, so I don't know if it's really an excuse for Italians to be Islamophobic, because it's not, I don't think it's a race issue. And I hate to defend them, but I think it's just a liberal issue. Like, these people are nuts. They are nuts. They're completely brainwashed. They're pleasuring themselves to pictures of Fauci. But, we'll take the bedfellows where they come. Yeah, nobody should be excluded from everyday activities just because they decide not to take the experiment. Hey, people are waking up, so good for them. Anyway, well, yeah, we as black folks have every reason not to trust an experiment. Well, we as Swedish, Russian, German, Italian also have every reason not to trust an experiment. Yeah, you should have a choice. Yeah, heaven forbid. Heaven forbid people think for themselves. But once you leave the plantation, like, if you're brown or black, then you're an expected DNC vote. Like, they have you. They don't have to do anything for you. It's like they know they have you because you've been brainwashed for 50 years. Like, you're not going to leave. Very few POCs will leave the plantation and go, you know what? We've had a black city council, black female city council for the past 20 years, black mayors. Like, the city is run by blacks, and it's not nice. It's an asshole. It's a hellhole. Black Democratic women or black Democrats. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Maybe we should try a conservative in office. Like, maybe liberalism isn't working, because you look around the city, you're like, oh hey, Chicago. There were 60 cases of lead poisoning, high velocity lead poisoning last weekend. Maybe our best thinking got us here. Like, maybe it's time to do something different from what we've been doing. Oh, well, we just need to talk about things more. We need to double down on education. We need to have more community meetings. No. You've tried that. You've done that. You've done that for the past 50 years. Oh, well, you don't understand. Systemic, systematic. Yeah, okay, that's a bunch of word salad. You've tried that. I mean, you've voted blue. You've had a D after your names for a long time. You've tried that. It hasn't worked. Why don't you try something else? Another position. Oh, we can't do that. We're brainwashed. I'll have those N-bombs voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Yeah, he was right. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.